Welcome back to another video here on my channel. I thank you so much for tuning in and for watching this video. Hopefully you find it helpful and maybe learn some new things about the new annual pass holder program or annual pass holder like program that has released today for Disneyland. You might be coming here with some questions. You might be coming here a little confused, or maybe just wanting to voice your opinion. But all of that, I want to be here for it. I want to try to hopefully answer questions in this video. So if you listen to it, maybe you can take something away. If you learned anything in this video or have any additional questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to kind of get to those as soon as I can on this particular video. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and if you did like this video, and go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to be talking about a lot more things in regards to this. And now that we have a pass back again, I can finally return to Disneyland more frequently. It's been rough with tickets because buying them at $154 or $205 a pop and adds up really fast and makes it really hard to experience and share the experience with you guys, because you want to try to maximize your time there as well to get your money's worth. So with the pass, it allows a little bit more flexibility to go frequently and hopefully bring more exciting content and more things to help you plan your trip when you go. So for when you are going and visiting and buying that ticket for a quick vacation or a 1 day per year type thing, you can get the most out of your visit when you go. And that's the purpose of us really kind of doing what we do. All the content creators who make this content, is to really help the people who go to Disneyland frequently, who have a lot of questions. I get asked questions all the time, so I'm hoping these videos help out in that. All right, but let's get on to the big news, of course, while you guys are all watching this video. We're going to talk about Disney's Magic Key program. So, of course, Disney yesterday teased that they would be releasing information on their much anticipated return for annual pass holder or annual pass-like program coming back to Disneyland. They did release the name as Magic Key, but we had no additional details really in regards to that. They kind of issued a little statement via an email that some legacy pass holders received, as well as like a TikTok or a reel showing some additional kind of teasers, and also calling it a Magic. I think on the TikTok or the reel is when they showed or actually called it a Magic Key Pass for the first time. So we kind of were like, oh, it's going to be like an annual pass type thing. So, but essentially the Magic Key program, for all intents and purposes, is pretty similar to what we had before Disneyland sunsetted its existing annual pass holder program. But I think renaming the program actually helped Disney kind of change the ideology or the thinking behind what it is to have a pass. And so by calling it Magic Key, it really let them kind of start all over again. It really helped let them kind of create something from scratch that was totally different from what we remembered, but also really familiar. And I think that's what's the best thing about the Magic Key, is that it seems really familiar, but it also has some great new changes to help limit attendance and make Disneyland more accessible to more people. And it's also extremely affordable, in my opinion. I was expecting to have such higher entry points on pricing, and was shocked to see the pricing that they came in with. So I feel like it's a great deal, and I feel like the prices that they provided really were accessible to a lot of families, and Disney actually really thought about being accessible to a lot of families because people with 4 members in their family, 2 kids, 3 kids, etc., trying to fork out almost over $1,000 for each member of the family is a lot of money. So coming in with a price point as low as $399 all of a sudden makes it really affordable for a family of 4 or something like that, who maybe didn't think that they could get it before, but now they can. Not to mention that, but they're also re-implementing the monthly payments. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well too. But the Magic Key Pass, I'll read the little description that they do here. So it says, your key is here. Introducing the new Disneyland Resort Magic Key program, on sale beginning August 25th, 2021. So that's just around the corner, just a couple weeks away. It says, unlock the fun, magic, and excitement of the happiest place on earth. When you're a Magic Key holder, Disneyland is your land. You're a townsperson on Main Street, USA, a galactic citizen of Batu, a hero at Avengers Campus, a local at Pixar Pier, and beyond. You belong to the community of core Disneyland fans who all share a passion of love for the parks. So, Magic Key details. This new Magic Key program provides reservation-based admission to one or both Disneyland theme parks, so they mentioned park hopping there, where you'll make memories visit after visit. There are 4 Magic Key types featuring a variety of admission, days, pricing options, experiences, and savings on food and beverage and merchandise. You can select the Magic Key Pass that's of most value to you. So they're really providing a lot of different options, I feel, with what they have, and letting people figure out what's best for them. There are going to be 4 types of passes. If we didn't already kind of talk about that here, mention it again. There are 4 Magic Key Passes. And of course, being Disney, they have very uniquely Disney names. It's almost like we're talking about cruise ships over here or something. But they're no longer called passes. They're called keys. And the 4 keys are named Dream, Believe, Enchant, and Imagine. So Dream being the most expensive, then Believe, then Enchant, and then Imagine being the least expensive, and also not available to all guests. The Imagine key is limited specifically to Southern California residents only, and that would be guests who live within the zip codes 90000 to 93599. So if you live within those zip codes, you are eligible to get that cheapest annual pass or cheapest key, which is the Imagine key at $3.99. So let's go ahead and start with the most expensive pass. So the Dream key, which would now be kind of in the place of what maybe would have been the Signature Plus. So we can talk about the passes before. So before the shutdown and the sunsetting of the original annual pass holder program, we had the Signature Plus annual pass, we had the Signature Pass, we had the Deluxe Pass, and we had the SoCal Pass and the Flex Pass. Now there was also, the SoCal Select Pass and the Flex Pass. The SoCal Pass also did exist. It was grandfathered in for people, but they weren't selling new ones. And then the SoCal Select Pass was also limited to Southern California residents as well. And the Flex Pass, before the shutdown, did have reservations, whereas all the other passes that I mentioned did not have reservations. They were only subject to the blackout days that those particular passes had. And in the case of Signature and Signature Plus, Signature had very limited blackout dates. It was only blacked out the 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's, and Signature Plus had no blackout dates. So they were not subject to reservations. They had no blackout dates, and you could go really whenever you wanted, whenever you wanted. So that is the big difference between those and these. Every pass now functions on the same reservation system that current tickets have since Disneyland reopened, and also kind of similar to what the Flex Pass had, but a little bit different prior to the shutdown and prior to the sunsetting of the original annual pass holder program. And honestly, too, every single one of these passes actually went down in price compared to what they used to cost. But like we just mentioned, they are subject to new restrictions. So you are paying less, but you are getting a different product. And so I feel like it's good that they differentiated that and didn't start off right off the bat being more expensive and providing less of a service. They're actually going cheaper because they are offering less opportunity, or at least putting your availability of getting into the theme park behind a lot of different steps. So you can't just show up whenever you want. And so it would make sense that it is a little bit cheaper. In some cases, a lot more cheaper. In some cases, not really all that much. So we'll go over that a little bit too. All right, so prior to the shutdown and prior to the sunsetting of the previous annual pass holder program, we actually had quite a bit more. I totally forgot one of the biggest ones, which is dumb to me because I have that pass, or had that pass. I forgot to mention the Disney Premier. So the Disney Premier Pass was actually the top pass that you could buy. I did have this pass before the passes were sunsetted, and this is a pass that works for both Disneyland and also Walt Disney World. This pass was $2,200. It does give you full access to both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It had no blackout dates on either coast, and no reservations were required at the time. They had no blackout dates, of course. Parking was included at both resorts, Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Max Pass at Disneyland was included, and dining and merchandise discounts were applicable where accepted. Disney World doesn't give discounts on dining for the most part to their annual pass holders, so that really only applied at Disneyland. But you had a lot of great features at both resorts, so it definitely made it worth $2,200 for sure. The Disney Signature Plus Pass, which would be similar to the now Dream Key, the Dream Key is $1,399. The Disney Signature Plus Passport that it's sort of potentially replacing was $1,449. So we're talking about a $50 difference, a $50 decrease. But when do you often hear about Disneyland removing or decreasing their prices? Usually you always hear about the increase of the prices. So it was great to see that even though they are implementing a system that had reservations that makes more barriers to entry per se, they started off with a cheaper, more affordable price. So I think that's awesome. But yes, so to start off with the Dream Key, it is $1,399. And the Signature Plus Pass, and that it was replacing, was $1,449. So again, $50 cheaper. And I also wanted to mention too, and I'll bring it up here, the Dream Key is also available via monthly payments for $102 per month, following a $179 down payment, and those payments will last for 12 payments. So you can either pay $1,399 up front, or you can pay $102 per month after you've paid your down payment of $179. So they are keeping the monthly payment option. I want to make absolutely sure for everyone listening and watching, the payment option is only available to California residents. It doesn't specify Southern California residents. It's just residents of California. So the only Southern California resident is the Imagine Key. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for monthly payment options, it is available to all guests within the state of California who are residents here. So you can do upfront or monthly. And the most important thing about this pass is it has the availability to make reservations to either one or both theme parks. You can have 6 reservations at a time. You get 20% or up to 20% discount on merchandise, and up to 15% off of dining. And also the big one on this one for a lot of people is going to be, this is the only pass that's going to include standard theme park parking as part of the admission, as part of the pass. So parking will be included at Mickey and Friends parking structure, Pixar Palace parking structure, or Toy Story parking lot. So all 3 of those options would be included for general parking as part of that admission cost of $1,399. So $1,399 or $102 per month for the Dream Key. And currently right now, you can view blackout days for the pass all the way through September of 2022, which is about a year now, a year out. So, from this pass, I can't see, and I'm showing you guys here on the screen as well too, I'm not seeing any blackout days at all for this pass, at least in this time frame. So as it looks right now, there are no blackout dates for this pass. So it does seem to be that you can go pretty much any day you want to. Granted, you could get a reservation for that day. So that about wraps up the Dream Key. So again, this is going to be essentially no blackout dates, free parking, 6 reservations at a time. And that's a rolling number of reservations. So it's not just 6 total for the whole year. It's 6 being held at a time. 20% off merch, 15% off food. So very, very similar to the Signature Plus Pass that it's, in my opinion, replacing. Let's go on to the next key, which I believe is probably going to be the most popular key, which is the Believe key. I feel like Believe and Enchant are going to be the most popular. But the Believe key is the second most expensive. The Believe key starts at $949. And I feel like this is most applicable to the previous Disney Signature. So there was the Disney Signature Plus, which would now be the Dream Key, and then there was the Disney Signature, which would now be this new Believe key. The Disney Signature was $1,100. However, that did include parking. So that makes sense why this one has so much more of a drop compared to the other one. So this pass is $950. So 949, $949 for this particular pass. If you wanted to pay on a monthly basis, it is also available on that, and it is $65 per month. Again, also subject to the $179 down payment that we talked about before. There are a few key differences between this one and the more expensive Dream. The Believe has less of a merch discount. It has less of a food discount. It does not have free parking, but they're the same in the sense that they both have a lot of availability as far as blackouts are concerned, and they both can make 6 reservations at a time. So your true difference is parking and merchandise and a few select blackout dates. So this particular pass, as we can see here, has a few blackout dates. We're looking at just really major holidays and busy times. So in the month of October, at least for this year, we're looking at every Saturday, because those are going to be busy days during the parties. So the Oogie Boogie Bash parties are on these particular days. So being that Disney California Adventure Park closes early, it's going to push a lot of regular guests to choose Disneyland because of the longer hours. Not to mention Disneyland's going to be having the Halloween Screams fireworks show and a bunch of other things just available to all guests who are at the parks those days. So that's a big value add for those particular guests and guests going into the park. So it makes sense that they're blocking out those Saturdays, but Sundays are fully open in October. In November, we're looking at just the Thanksgiving weekend. So like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and then the Saturday afterward. We're looking at all Saturdays in December. And we're looking at basically the week leading up to Christmas, the week after Christmas, and of course the New Year holiday. And then we're looking at additionally some blackout days like for Easter. So really all the major holidays are blocked out. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't really find yourself at Disneyland on a major holiday, then this pass might be good for you too. You can see there's a ton of available days. There's plenty of Saturdays during non-holiday times. Even in the summer, you got all of August on Saturday. You've got all of June's on Saturdays. You're just blocked in the month of July, which tends to be a little bit busier for Southern California. And then next year you got all of September. So, and then Halloween time starts in September. So it's still looking really good for this particular pass. Honestly, this would be amazing for most people, especially at the cost of $950. So this one's kind of like a mix, I would say, of the deluxe pass and the signature. So I would say this kind of replaced both the deluxe and the signature. And at $950, you are getting 6 reservations at a time. You are getting any of those days. We saw a lot of the blackout dates, so really major holidays and some select Saturdays, but there are still a lot of Saturdays available. You have 10% off merchandise instead of 20% off, so that's cutting that in half. And then for dining, you have 10% off instead of 15% off, which is cutting that by 5%. So, and then the big difference here is you get half off of parking instead of free parking. Right now, as it stands, Disneyland is $25 a day for parking. This price could increase this particular year. We don't know yet. As it stands now, they haven't said that they're going to indicate, or they're not indicating that they're going to change the pricing of parking. It is currently $25. So obviously half of that is going to be $12.50 roughly. So $12.50 to park your car all day at Disneyland is super cheap. And for some people who are going to maybe go, you know, let's say 10 times with this particular pass, you're going to definitely pay for the pass, that's for sure, at $950. And only 10 times worth of parking at $12, you're going to spend like $120. So it's not that much in compared to how much more you're spending for the Dream. So you're going from $950 to $1,400. Are you really going to be using that much discount and that much parking to justify the more expensive pass? So I think a lot of people, that's why I feel like a lot of people are going to settle on this Believe key. I think it's going to be really popular. because the savings in parking is still really, really excellent, especially for a guest that would maybe go once a month, would maybe go twice a month. Only paying $12 for parking, it's not that bad, really, especially for all-day parking and the convenience of parking next to Disneyland at the parking structure or at Toy Story lot, whichever's more convenient for you. I feel like that's an excellent deal. And again, I feel like this is where most people are going to lie. So that about wraps up the first two. So we got Dream and Believe, the two more expensive passes. Now we're going to start going into Enchant. Now, Enchant is the first of the lower tier of the passes. This is going to be the only pass that people who do not live in Southern California that want the cheaper option, this will be your only cheaper option. The Imagine Key, which we'll talk about after this one, is not available to Southern California residents, or not available to non-Southern California residents. So the Enchant Key will be the lowest that you can go. And it's still an excellent value, in my opinion, as far as what they're coming in at. We're talking at the old passes here. So the Deluxe and the Flex were $650, and the Deluxe was $830. So, and the Deluxe did not include parking either, or even have discounted parking, and that was $830. And then the Flex Pass was $650, and that's the same price as this one. So this is about coming in at that same price point, $650. You have reservation based, just like all the other ones, but this one drops it down to 4 reservations at a time. So instead of 6, like the Dream and the Believe, the Enchant Key is the first pass to have less reservations available at a time. It's 4 rolling reservations at a time, and it's going to be 10% off merch, just like the Believe, and 10% off dining, just like the Believe. So those are the same carrying over. You get 2 less reservations on this one. The big difference between this one and the Believe is going to be you don't have any discounts on parking, so you're paying that full $25 per visit for parking, if you do choose to park on Disneyland property. However, keep in mind, some of our vacationing guests, when you're buying multi-day tickets, if you're coming for an extended vacation, the Enchant Key is available to you, especially if you're not a Southern California resident. This is a ticket or a pass that's available to you, and this option might be cheaper for you than purchasing a ticket that's, multiple days. However, keep in mind, you'd be subject to 4 reservations at a time. And you may, which leaves a little bit of chance when it comes to booking those reservations on the fly during your trip. So it allows you to at least plan 4 days of that trip, but then you'd be subject to like any additional days being subject to chance on what's actually available when you come here and actually use that first one to free up your others. But yeah, I wanted to take a quick pause here to mention that too, and we'll talk again about this afterward when we go into more of the details, the terms and conditions, and like the fine print. But when all these reservations numbers are listed, it's like this one has 6, this one has 6, that one has 4, this one has whatever. That doesn't mean that's all you can ever make in 1 month. It means that that's all you're allowed to have held at one time. So you can only take up a reservation spot from someone else 4 times with this pass. So as soon as you use that reservation of the 4, let's say you booked all 4, you use that reservation, then now you have 1 reservation available to book on a different day. So you can book that way far out, but if you're trying to be there for a trip, you can book it the following day if it's available. But the thing is, that's the catch. It's always if it's going to be available. And that's how Disneyland is really curbing the demand and the crowding with this particular pass, and all these passes for that matter. So the Enchant Key, again, $650, 4 reservations at a time, 10% merchandise, 10% dining. And let's pull up the access calendar. So for this one, we have, let's see, for September, looks like opening weekend, leading up to opening weekend of, it's like the opening weekend of Halloween and right up to the first Oogie Boogie Bash, it's going to be blocked out. But then all of September is fully available, and that's Halloween time. Halloween time at Disneyland starts on September 3rd. So anytime in the month of September, you're getting the Halloween fireworks at Disneyland. You're getting Halloween decorations, characters dressed in their Halloween costumes. You're getting the pumpkin on Main Street, everything. So that's a pretty good deal for being fully available in September, and really fully available on the weekdays, including Fridays, so Friday evenings in October. It's just going to be the weekends that are blocked out in October. In November, you even have weekends available. You've got Sundays available, you have the weekdays available, and then just the week of Thanksgiving is going to be when you're blocked out. For December, you're looking at just looks like a little bit less than, or a little bit less than 2.5 weeks of availability in December. So you can still get that Christmas in November and December, because Christmas time usually starts in November for Disneyland. So you would get that entertainment available on those Sunday nights if it was only on weekends, because they do move into usually like a weekend only thing for the Christmas time, just due to local regulations for when fireworks are allowed to go off. And then for December, it looks like no weekends are available. But a lot of the other availability, like January, February, really opens up. You got Saturdays available on this one, even in February and in March. This one's looking good. It's just the summertime, it's when it starts to really not look so good. So you've got most of June blocked, the entire month of July, about half of August. So this looks really similar to a mix of the old SoCal Pass and the Deluxe Pass. So the Deluxe Pass was blocked most Saturdays, so with some select few opened up, and that's kind of like what we're seeing here. And then the summertime blockage of this one is looking very similar to what the SoCal Pass used to be. So, but I mean, overall, that's a lot of available days that you can actually go. But again, you are subject to reservation availability. And we'll talk more about that too towards the end when we get to more of the specifics, because a lot of people are confused about the reservations. But that wraps up the Enchant key. So we've gone over Dream Key, we've gone over Believe, and we've gone over Enchant. And like I mentioned at the beginning of Enchant, Enchant might be the cheapest option for you if you don't live in Southern California, because our next pass that we're talking about, the Imagine Key, is only for Southern California residents. So the Imagine Key. So the Imagine Key comes in at just $399. So if you are a Southern California resident, this is an incredible deal, especially if you only plan on going once a month. That's easily doable on this pass, and you've well exceeded the value of this pass. Like I mentioned, tickets to Disneyland on the more expensive days were $154. Disneyland has been open since April, and there has never been a day thus far, all the way up now until August, where they've had a tier 1 day, which is the cheapest ticket of $104. That day has not come up yet. I'm guessing it's going to be in probably January and February where we see those $104 day tickets. But for right now, you're paying $154 to go into the park. So this is a huge deal for this particular annual pass, coming in at $399. And again, this pass is available for monthly payment. And I didn't actually talk about that too on Enchant, so I forgot. Excuse me for that. I talked about $650 being the price of that pass for Enchant. Well, the monthly payment option was $40 a month. And again, subject to the $179 down payment. But again, $40 a month for the Enchant key. And we saw the availability on that one. But back to Imagine. So $399 for that particular pass, and $19 a month for the monthly payment option. And again, monthly payment is only for California residents, not Southern California. I know this is getting really confusing because we got some things that are Southern California, some things that are just California. But as far as the monthly payment option and the flexibility of paying, that's available to all California residents. It's just the Imagine key that's available to only Southern California residents. So the Imagine key, $399 for the total price, $19 per month. What do you get for that? Well, you get reservation base, just like the other ones, 2 reservations at a time. So we went from 4 on the last one, now down to 2. So you can have 2 at a time. You get 10% off merch still, and 10% off dining. So bam, you're still getting that same discount as even the more expensive Believe key. You're still getting that 10%. You're not getting parking access or parking discounting. And again, only 2 reservations at a time on this one. But the big difference on this one is it's going to be the availability. It's going to have a lot of blackout dates, but there's still a lot of available days, especially where you're getting your money's worth of $399. You know what I mean? So right off the bat, the pass starts on the 25th and the 26th you can go, but that first weekend you can't. So basically for the Imagine key, you're going to just assume you can't go on any weekends. I don't think there is a weekend. Let me just check here. Nope, there is no weekends available on the Imagine key whatsoever. So if you can only go on the weekends and there's never a time where you can ask for time off, or you aren't comfortable with only going after like work during a normal work day, then this pass isn't going to be for you. You're going to want to pick one of the passes that has availability on the weekends. This is not one of them. But you can see if you're okay with going during the week, maybe you're taking kids or you're going for just like a few times out of the year and you plan those days and take those days off of work. Look at the availability. I mean, you've got a huge chunk of availability in September and October. And this is all during the Halloween time and the free Halloween entertainment that Disneyland is offering this year. You got availability in November and December, so you can experience that Christmas time. That's amazing right there. Big chunk of availability in January, including some Fridays. Forgot to mention that too on November. Friday nights, those are still game. So these are all great availability here. Lots in February, a lot in March. And then for June, July, and August, you're a lot blocked. So your whole summer is basically gone. You got the beginning of June. You've got nothing in July, just like the one before it. And you've got some availability at the end of August, which was very similar to SoCal Select. So this pass is basically Southern California Select reincarnated. The Southern California Select pass was actually $419. So this pass being $399 saves you $20. So a little bit of a savings, but you're basically having the same availability that pass had. Again, so let's go over it real quick one more time. So we have 4 keys. We have the Dream at $13.99 or $102 per month after your down payment. You have the Believe key at $950 for $65 per month. You have the Enchant key at $650 or at $40 per month. And then you have the Imagine key at $399 only for Southern California residents, or even $19 per month for that one. So $20 a month is like a subscription to basically HBO Max. You know, you're like at $14.99 for HBO Max, so $5 more gives you an annual pass to Disneyland, and the value that brings is insane. So the Imagine key, if you're a Southern California resident, has some great availability and is totally worth it in my opinion. I was shocked to see that was available. So that goes over all the availability. Again, these become available starting August 25th, 2021, which is just around the corner. We don't even know or have any details on how that rollout's going to happen. One thing I did want to make note of here. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into the key terms and conditions here for Magic Key. So this is where a lot of things are revealed and maybe a lot of your questions are going to be answered. So the last annual pass holder program didn't have any limitations as far as how many passes they sold. There was no fear of them selling out. They were basically anyone could buy one at any time, and you can buy them on monthly payment, and there was never a fear like, oh, they're no longer going to offer this pass type anymore. Well, that has changed with this. It's one of the big terms and conditions on here. It says pass type availability. Pass types are limited in quantity, and not all pass types may be available at any given time. Please check pass type availability before upgrading into a pass. So it may be that the Imagine Pass, which is the cheapest one, runs out first, and then they stop selling them. And then maybe a little bit later down in the year, as people start to fall off or it gets closer to when they are going to be falling off, they make it available again. Or maybe when attendance is lower for tickets, as far as reservations that are being committed, they make it available again. They could really probably change it at any time, but there's never been that worry before of the passes running out. So that is something to keep in mind. If you are thinking about getting a Disneyland annual pass and it's something you're strongly considering, you might want to act on it sooner than later, because you might go to do it and then all of a sudden the one that you want is gone, it's not available anymore. And it might push you into either a lesser one or a more expensive one. So that is something to keep in mind. As far as, let's see here, reservations. So in order to enter the theme park, you have to have a reservation, as well as it needs to not be a blackout date. So you have to have a valid pass that's current or up to date if you're paying monthly payments, or non-expired if you're paying in full. You have to have a valid reservation on the day that you're going. And from what I can read and all of the terms and conditions, and from what I've seen online, the reservation pool looks very similar or exactly the same as Disneyland's current ticket reservation. So you're going to have 4 different pools of reservations. You're going to have one that's for Disneyland Park only. You're going to have another one that's for Disney California Adventure Park only. You're going to have another pool of reservations for park hopping starting at Disneyland Park. And then you're going to have another pool, making your 4th one, for park hopping, but starting at Disney California Adventure Park. Park hopping is still being limited to after 1 p.m. For all guests. So that includes guests who are entering with their Magic Key instead of a general admission ticket. So you are going to be having to wait to park hop, and you are going to have to pick the park you're going to start in first. And even if it's after 1 o'clock, you still have to physically enter the park first. And a lot of people forget that. So if you have a park hopper pass and you haven't entered Disney California Adventure Park yet, and you're coming like later in the evening, you still have to go to Disney California Adventure Park first, scan in, and then you can go back over to Disneyland to park hop over, because you chose your reservation to start at Disney California Adventure. So it is still subject to that, and these passes are subject to that. There's no guarantee that you'll be able to get a reservation on the date that you get it. That's why some of the more expensive passes, like the Believe and the Dream, that have 6 reservations available at a time, are the more expensive passes, is because you can plan ahead and maybe grab those key days that are important to you, whereas the cheaper pass, like the Imagine, can only grab 2. But if you aren't going as frequently, it's probably not that big of a deal for you. However, keep in mind, yes, you can have 6 reservations at a time, but for those of us that are avid fans or that go frequently, you're going to have to use reservations sometimes 90 days in advance, to hold significant days. This significant day might be, your anniversary. It might be your birthday, a family member's birthday. It might be a day that you've gotten off work specifically to go with maybe a friend who's coming. It might be some kind of, iconic day for Disneyland, like Disneyland's birthday, or maybe it's the start of holiday season, the start of Halloween season. These are all like iconic, important dates that you're going to have to hold reservations for, sometimes far in advance. So let's say you've held, your personal birthday because it's within the current available window. You've held maybe a significant other's important birthday, and then you've held like the first day of Halloween. Well, you've now used 3 of your reservations, and you only have 3 left. So if you're trying to go on a more frequent basis, like after work or maybe a few times a week, you've only got 3 reservations to play with if you have that most expensive pass, because you're not wanting to move those other ones that are on those important days that you don't want to risk losing. So it's always a lot of planning that's going to be involved with going to Disneyland, and there's going to be a lot less ambiguity of going on the fly. And that's how Disneyland is really going to manage these crowds, because the reservations themselves have been a blessing for the company, in the sense that they can know exactly how many guests are forecasted to come for that day, which helps them with staffing and scheduling all their employees at different areas, and knowing what might be busier. Disneyland Park might need the assistance rather than Disney California Adventure not needing as much assistance, so they don't have to, maybe staff a bunch of people that they end up sending home early, or maybe finding themselves unprepared with staffing. In addition to that, it allows them to do things like purchase the right amount of food for the week. Maybe they see, wow, this next week is going to be really busy at Disneyland all week long. We're going to need to make sure we order extra things for Disneyland this week so we don't run out of those food items while guests are there. Or even merchandise. It allows them to plan for merchandise releasing if that's more important too. So all these things, planning shows like that. Reservations are so important to Disneyland. I can't imagine them ever going away. And especially for Magic Keys in the future, I don't think they'll ever go away. Because this is really the way they're going to be able to curb or control the crowding. Because before, you had all these pools of large annual pass holders descending on the resort whenever they wanted to at any given moment, and Disneyland can't prepare for that. They would prepare for a normal Friday that maybe historically had this much attendance, but for whatever reason, a lot of people decided to descend the resort at after 5 p.m. on this particular night to watch the fireworks, and then you've got the Disneyland parking line going all the way out onto the freeway, on the 5 freeway, and it's like an hour to get into park. That's not a good experience for the cast members. That's not a good experience for the guests visiting the park as an annual pass holder or as a regular guest. It's just poor for everyone. And so reservations will let them know, hey, we're going to have like 20,000 people visiting Disneyland today. And of those 20,000 people, 15,000 people are annual pass holders or Magic Key holders, and only 5,000 of those are paid ticket guests. So you can assume that the paid ticket guests are going to go all day from open to close. So we can expect, about 5,000 people to come in the morning, and then we can expect a big chunk of these 15,000 to maybe come later in the day because they're annual pass holders and they're not really vying to get here early in the morning. So it allows them to really forecast better in that way. And so I don't see that really ever going away for that particular way. But the most important thing is that a lot of people seem to be really confused about reservations, thinking that they were only allowed like 6 for the whole year or 6 per month. No, but it's 6 rolling reservations at any given time in a 90-day window. So right now, pass goes on sale August 25th. We have 90 days in advance that we can book reservations to go to the park. If you purchase the Dream Pass, which is the most expensive one, you would have 6 particular reservations you could make right off the bat. So if you want to make it for bam, 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 all 6 first days in a row, you want to go every day after work, or you want to go every day just because that's what you want to do because you've been missing Disneyland so much, you could do that. You can make all 6 reservations, but by doing that, you might risk losing an important day. Like maybe you want to go on Halloween Day. Well, you've waited on that. You've booked 6 days in a row for whenever it is that you want to go. Well, now that you've waited on that, Halloween Day is completely booked out. So that's the risk that you take with holding reservations up close, rather than sitting down and planning out important days that matter to you. So that's really how it's changed the behavior, and that's why I'm really happy that they changed the name of this pass from an annual pass to Magic Key. They're not the easiest names to remember, I'm not going to lie, because they're all very similar. I maybe would have chosen like different keys, or different, like maybe call it just like key 1, key 2, like I don't know. But this makes sense. They want like fancy names so people feel like, important or special with the particular key that they have. And really the naming that they've done on them doesn't make anyone feel lesser. I don't feel lesser having a key called the Imagine Key over someone having the Dream Key. It doesn't indicate by visual cue that like mine's lesser than someone else's. So using tier numbers or numbers might indicate that someone that has like a higher number is lesser versus someone that has a lower number. So there's probably a lot of psychology involved with the naming, but these are definitely not easy to remember right off the bat. I can tell you that right now, because I'm having a hard time differentiating between the ones. But anyways, I'm happy that they did change the name of the system, because if they left it as annual pass, it may give an assumption that people are guaranteed admission. I have an annual pass. Why am I not allowed to go today? This is not an annual pass. This is a Magic Key to Disneyland. It's admission access with these terms. It's subject to these terms. So if you're okay with these terms, then you can buy this Magic Key and use this in accordance to its terms. So the word annual pass really indicates like an expectation of the past and also current offerings with other theme parks. And so the fact that this is so different is really important. And I'm happy that they did change that name, because it'll actually help alleviate a lot of frustration with the guest relations cast members and other people who have to field all those concerns from people that don't pay attention to what they're purchasing, or maybe have the wrong expectations of what they're actually buying. But there are other availability things. Of course, the parking benefit on your pass would be subject to being a not a blackout day. So if you have a Believe key that has 50% off parking, if you came on a blackout day and wanted to use your parking benefit to still go to downtown Disney, maybe hit up Trader Sam's or just spend the evening there, and you'd rather pay that cheaper flat rate than the hourly rate at downtown Disney, well, you can't do that. Your parking benefit is only available to you when your pass isn't blocked. So you got to keep that in mind too. Make sure the blackout days are fresh on your mind, because if you're going to the resort, you're going to just be, and you're going on a blackout day and you have a magic key that's blocked out, then you're subject to paying whatever else anyone else would pay who doesn't have a magic key, because it is a blackout day. The big question for everyone, upgrades. You can upgrade existing tickets that are not used or have current available usage left to a magic key of your choice. Now, the caveat is, right before this particular magic key program was announced, Disneyland did release a special ticket offer for California residents that was a 3-day ticket for a phenomenal value of like $99 or $89 a day. This particular ticket is a 3-day ticket, but it is not eligible for upgrade. It says it on the ticket's nomenclature. It says it on the physical ticket that you get. It says it on the email if you bought a ticket digitally. And it says it on the website under the California resident ticket offer. It is not eligible to be upgraded. So if you have that ticket, you're going to have to use all those uses just on your own, because it's not eligible for upgrade. Now, if you have a regular standard multi-day ticket that you purchased through a travel agent, from Disneyland's website, through Costco, whatever, as long as it's not the California resident offer ticket, it is eligible for upgrade, as long as it's still valid and still has remaining uses. Now, here's where some additional caveats come in. If you've already used that ticket, let's say your first use was July 17th, Disneyland's birthday, you used your first use on that day. Well, actually, that wouldn't be relevant, because it's not, tickets expire in 14 days. So let's use a more relevant day. Let's say you did like August 14th or August 16th or 17th as your first visit, and you're getting closer to that 25th date where you're going to buy the pass. You're like, oh, perfect, I'll use this $300 something ticket to go these 2 days, and then my third day at Disneyland, I'm going to just upgrade to the magic key that I want to get, which is the Believe key. Okay, well, you can do that, but keep in mind that the first day that your ticket was used is when your magic key will be backdated. So your magic key is good for 365 days. It is a year-long key. But if you're upgrading from a ticket that's already been used, whenever that first use occurred is when that ticket will be backdated to. It will not start on the day that you're buying the magic key. It'll start on the day that you're upgrading from that ticket, because you're using that ticket. Technically, it starts on the first day of that ticket. So keep that in mind. It will be backdated. And upgrades, of course, need to be done, I think, in person. Typically, they've always been in person. They might be able to do this over the phone, especially if the ticket hasn't been used yet. If you've already used it, though, it's typically in person. And the last little note here says fully used or partially used and expired theme park admission media, complimentary ticket media, special event ticket media, so Oogie Boogie Bash tickets, and ticket media stating its ineligibility for an upgrade may not be upgraded to a pass. Upgrades are subject to pass availability. So we talked about that already. Passes may not be available for you to upgrade to because they're all sold out. So that could be a bummer too. And downgrades are never allowed. So the pass that you're upgrading to needs to be more expensive than the pass so the ticket that you have needs to be less expensive than the key that you're trying to buy. That's what I was trying to say. So you can't like have a 5-day ticket that I don't even know what those cost, and then try to upgrade that ticket into the Imagine key, which is only $399, and thinking that you'd be like, oh, it'll fully pay for it, I don't have to pay anything. No, you're gonna have to go with the more expensive Magic key from the ticket that you bought. So keep that in mind too. It can only go up, you can never go down. Renewals. This is important here. It says the value of any separate ticket media may not be used towards the renewal of an existing key or pass. A renewal is the purchase of another year or specified period of the pass if different than a year. That's a clear indicator right there that maybe other keys are coming down the pike, because it says or specified period of the pass if different than a year. Well, if all these current passes are all year long passes, what's coming down the pike that is not a full year? So we'll have to keep, that's some interesting legal jargon there that indicates that there's some things maybe coming that we haven't heard of yet. So yes, a year pass benefits before the expiration date of the currently existing and valid pass. So you have to renew before your expiration date, just like before. All pass types are available for renewal unless explicitly stated otherwise, and any renewal discounts are valid during the dates specified for such discounts. So that also indicates too that they're going to be giving us a discount for renewing your pass. So, but it says, but in no event shall such discounts apply after the applicable current pass's expiration date. So if you choose to renew it after it's already expired, you're not going to be eligible for that discount anymore. It's basically what it's saying. And the other terms and conditions are similar to before. Benefits and discounts are non-transferable, so discounts are only for the person listed on the key card or the Magic Key Pass. And same with the benefits or the discounts. So that's basically all the terms and conditions for the most part. So how can you best prepare for the upcoming release of these passes? Well, if you don't already have a Disneyland.com account or an account through anything else, if you have Disney Plus, if you have ever logged into Disney.com, that same account works on Disneyland.com. Or if you've gone to Disney World and you have a Disney World account, that pass account also works on Disneyland's website too. So if you have any of those, you can log into this one on Disneyland.com. Just log in, make sure it works, make sure your profile is updated with current information, current address, all that stuff. If you don't have one, create an account and create it before August 25th if this is important to you to buy right away, because you don't want to be doing any of that on day one. You want to be prepped and ready to go. But there's basically 3 easy steps that Disneyland outlines on their website as far as how you're going to be using your Magic Key Pass. So essentially, step 1 would be to access the calendar. So you're going to check the Magic Key Access calendar, which shows admission and blackout dates and current reservation availability. So we're going to have a special calendar just for Magic Key that's going to be different from the reservation calendar that the guests who are purchasing tickets have to use. Step 2 is to make a reservation. So be sure to log into your existing Disney account, link your Magic ID 18-digit number that you'll receive after you buy it, and then visit park reservations to start theme park reservation processes. Select the date and the theme park that you wish from the available park reservations. You can make reservations for one park only or both parks, depending on availability again. Magic Key holders choosing both parks can select which theme park to start their day at and may cross over switching between parks on the same day beginning at 1 p.m., also subject to availability. Now, Disneyland has indicated when the park reopened that park hopping was subject to availability, and we really never hit that with the attendance during normal admission purchasing for tickets, but I can easily see Disneyland reaching some of these milestone attendance numbers when these passes return. So there may be an instance when, let's say, you have a reservation for park hopping and you're starting at Disney California Adventure Park and maybe you want to head over to Disneyland to watch the fireworks in the evening. Well, if it's a particularly busy day, it may be that park hopping is not allowed, and they're blocking it at the current time until the attendance in Disneyland drops a little bit lower to where they could safely let in more guests. So park hopping is still subject to availability. Again, we haven't hit that yet during this current time and attendance numbers that have been visiting Disneyland since its reopening in April of 2021. But when passes are reinstated, who knows? That could change a lot of stuff. So keep that in mind when making a reservation. I'm guessing, and I'm going out on a limb here, which not really, because this is probably totally obvious. Park hopping reservations with Disneyland first will probably all run out immediately. So just keep that in mind. If you want to park hop and you want to start your day at Disneyland, that's the first reservation to go. I can guarantee that. Then it would probably be Disneyland only. And then it would be park hopping at Disney California Adventure Park. And then DCA only would probably be the one that you're seeing available most days if it's a particularly sold out day reservation wise. And then the last step in the 3-step process that they mentioned is review and confirm your visit. So currently, with current health restrictions in place and just current health guidelines, you would need to review your park reservation and agree to the terms and conditions, including the current health liability waivers that you have to show or talk about, and confirm that you're coming to a park during this particular unprecedented time, and that you're aware that by coming to a crowded area, there are certain risks. So you basically have to agree to those terms. It's just like when you're coming to the park now with a reservation, they're just saying you have to do that too for these reservations. You have to provide an email address to receive your reservation confirmation. In addition, you have to check your email account to assure you've received the confirmation in order to make sure it actually went through. And then please be prepared to present your Magic Key Pass inside the Design app when you arrive on the day of your visit. That's one thing I did forget to mention in regards to the talking about the pass earlier, is there is actually going to be no physical card for the Magic Key. So I know a lot of people really like to have their physical annual pass before. The Magic Keys will not have a physical card. It'll just be your card in your Disneyland app. They did say somewhere in the fine print that you could pay like $20 or so and go to a ticket booth and have them print out a paper ticket, and then you could use that paper ticket in conjunction with your app if you wanted to have an option that wasn't in app all the time. This would be similar to like Universal Studios, because they provide a paper ticket too for their annual pass, and that's all they ever give you. I may actually do this option just in case, like sometimes you have trouble with the app and you can't get it open in time, or it's just kind of frustrating. It's nice to have a physical thing, so I may actually get that paper ticket and kind of hold on to that. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's essentially it. That's covering all the real bases of what we know now in regards to the Magic Keys for the Design Resort. There are some additional benefits we didn't go over actually, so I could talk about those right now. So they have some exciting additional benefits. They talk about some additional add-ons. There's a Magic Key Terrace, a reimagined reservation-based lounge just for Magic Key holders and their friends and family. I'm guessing this is probably the existing Legacy Pass holder lounge that they're currently using in Disney California Adventure, the Alfresco Terrace, which is like on the upper story of the Wine Country Trattoria area. That's currently for Legacy Pass holders only, also on a reservation basis. My guess is, since Legacy Pass holders are going away once this program starts, that'll just change to the Magic Key Terrace rather than the current Legacy Pass holder one. The other one would be Key Holder Month. So Magic Key Holder Month is a month-long celebration at some point in celebration of Magic Key holders. I'm guessing if they're going to celebrate all Magic Key holders, it's probably going to be a month where most passes or all passes have availability. So we're looking at like January and February. Those are also times of the year where they're not actually doing any current celebrations. So that's probably when I would guess to see that. Special experiences and collectibles. Access exciting, unique experiences and collectible keepsakes designed with you in mind, including special offerings during festivals. Basically this is all things that they offered to annual pass holders before. First access opportunities. Be among the first to have the opportunity to access exciting new offerings at the Design Resort throughout the year, including select new merchandise collections. Disney loves selling that annual pass holder merchandise, so now they're going to sell Magic Key merchandise, and I'm sure people are going to eat it up, because if you don't have a physical card for a Magic Key, maybe they'll have some other way to indicate to everyone else that you are a Magic Key holder, whether that's like a key you wear around your lanyard or something like that. I don't know. Could be a bunch of different things. Downtown Disney District, you would have discounts at participating locations. So just like you do now or did before with annual passes, you'll have discounts at the third-party vendors inside Downtown Disney using your Magic Key. You also have Magic Key merchandise, novelties, menu items, and more. So again, show your Magic Key pride. Opportunity to purchase Magic Key holder themed popcorn buckets, sippers, and menu items throughout the year. Magic Key photo pass opportunities. Enjoy special photo spots and opportunities sprinkled in throughout the year. Magic Key embroidery. Special options for Magic Key holders at select locations in the parks. Plus, enjoy experience or periodic offers available throughout the year that only Disney can provide. So Magic Key embroidery sounds like, where they have the hat writing machines. You could probably have a special maybe font or thread that's only available to key holders. Or maybe you can get like on your back of your hat or something, you can have it say Magic Key holder instead of like, your name, something like that. So things that are only available to you if you have those. They did also mention community. So access the Magic Key portal in the Disneyland app. So apparently we're going to see some new portal available for guests who have the Magic Key, where you'll find relevant news, an overview of benefits, custom content, special offers, and more. Join our new platforms, Disneyland Magic Key on Facebook and Disneyland Magic Key on Instagram. So they already set up new social accounts for this program, Disneyland Magic Key on Facebook. So go ahead and like that page if you haven't already. And Disneyland Magic Key on Instagram, go ahead and follow that account on Instagram, because I'm sure if they have any updates or anything like that, they'll post it there, including that select merch that a lot of people are probably going to want. But that now, I think, covers it. I thought I covered it all before, but this pretty much covers most of what I was able to dive deep into. I hope I was able to answer some of the questions you guys had leading up to this announcement. And after you've read it, if things sound confusing, I think most people who are messaging me were most confused about reservations and the number of reservations and what that really meant. So hopefully that provided clarity for you guys. But if you did like this video and you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button, please. It really, really helps this video be seen by other people and their recommendations, and makes me be able to be seen by more people that aren't subscribed to me. And for all of you that are subscribed and are returning and watching, thank you guys for all your positive comments and for coming back to this video. I appreciate you guys and love to read what you guys are saying. And again, if you learned something or have an additional question, let me know in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and try to answer that and hopefully help you out when you're planning to make your purchase of the Magic Key of your choice. As for me, I'm going Dream. I'm going to get the Dream Key because I'd like to go, again, on a normal basis. I can bring more content to you guys and more tips to you guys and have more availability to do so. Like I mentioned before, I had the Coast to Coast Pass prior to the shutdown. I had the Premier Pass, and because I found value because of the amount of times I went to Walt Disney World, in addition to the times I used it at Disneyland. So if they are offering a Coast to Coast option in the future, I will go that route. But currently, I will try to become a Dream Key holder, as well as I have I think it's called a Platinum Annual Pass at Walt Disney World. So that's where we're at right now if you're trying to do a Coast to Coast pass. So not too bad, really. I don't mind it being split if that's the way it has to be. But I think eventually when Disney World starts their new pass program, it's going to look really similar to this one, since they announced today that Disney World would also start new pass purchases sometime before the 50th anniversary, which is October 1st. So we got a couple months maybe leading up to when we find out more about what Walt Disney World is going to offer to their new guests. Currently, right now, their current annual pass holders were able to renew, but that's it. You can't buy a new pass. Since I had the Coast to Coast Pass before, they gave me the option to renew into a Walt Disney World only pass. So I was thankful for that. So I was able to get that for the few times that I was planning on going. I went in 2020. I'm going in 2021. And I'll probably go in 2022. So it's definitely a value for me. So hopefully we see more of that. We saw that verbiage we read earlier about some passes maybe not being a full year. We'll see what that's like. So there's a lot of changes in flexibility. I love what Disneyland came up with. I love that they kept the affordability with the monthly payments. They didn't price out families with this option. There's a lot of affordable options. I hated the idea of Disneyland being priced out for certain people. It's still expensive, not gonna lie. It's expensive to go to Disneyland, but at least there's a lot of affordability options for people to still go, and it doesn't make it like $3,000 or $2,000, which not everyone can afford to do, especially in times like these, to be able to go to Disneyland, and maybe they did before. So I think that these options are really great for Disneyland to be able to offer these, and it's really a great program. And I like the name change, like I mentioned, because it is something new. And I think the name change really indicates that and lets them have the freedom to start over. And so this changes the mentality of what this is. This is not an annual pass. It is annual access to Disneyland, but it's not an annual pass. So because I feel like that comes, like I mentioned, with some baggage of expectations. So this is great. But again, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you real soon.